You do not need an audience to launch a successful, high-ticket, paid membership.
Hi, Gina. I am a content creator with a pretty decent following. I really want to start my online community, but I have been advised that I should build my following up a bit more because it can only help, right? So my question for you is, do I start? Do I wait? Build it out a bit? I'd really appreciate your help. Thanks.
It is a totally fair question, and the straight up answer is no, you do not. Now, that is not to say that if you don't already have an audience, that it's not helpful for you to launch a paid membership, an online course, a challenge, run an event. It certainly is great if you have an audience already. But what's more important than your audience is to have an ideal member. This is the person who needs or wants your community the most right now. Typically, this is somebody that follows a specific formula, and it is a super easy one. It's actually one of the most obvious things in the world when you think about it for more than 5 seconds. But this is more important than having an audience or not having an audience. Because if you don't have an audience, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can go find people based on this ideal member. Here's the formula: a human being plus a transition. Human being plus a transition equals your ideal member. And bonus points for somebody who is in a transition where that transition is painful. And why is this? Why is it so important to focus in and find an ideal member who is in a transition? These are the people who will always be the most motivated to join something new and pay for it. Because when we are in a transition, we are highly motivated to navigate it successfully. And if we are in pain, we are highly motivated at nearly any price to get out of that painful dynamic. So, human being plus transition bonus points for pain is your formula for building a successful digital business. And this is true for whether it's a paid membership, which I think is the easiest business to build today and certainly the most profitable, but it's also true for online courses, for challenges, for events. And if you are thinking about e-commerce or you already have a physical product that you're selling, taking full advantage of a person who is in a moment where they are seeking because they're in a transition is one of the most impactful things that you can do. So, especially if you are struggling today and you're like, wait a second, why isn't this working? I thought it was going to be awesome when I launched my online course. Typically, it's for a couple of reasons. You are struggling or not quite getting to that next level because you don't have a clear ideal member. It is not clear who needs or wants your community the most right now, where right now is in all caps. Or number two is that you are not providing them with enough opportunity to meet other people on the same path. That is why a membership is so powerful, because when you connect people who are in a transition, especially when they're navigating pain, to each other, they can help each other in a way that you, as the host of that membership, the instructor in that online course, the leader of that challenge, or the organizer of that event can't. You just can't be in all of the conversations and help people in all of the ways as the hero of your business that you can when you unlock relationships for other people as the host of your digital business. That is where the magic happens. And that is also where the profit happens, because people pay for progress, especially people who are in transitions. and they pay attention to what they pay for. So you are so far ahead of the game if you invest the time to figure out who is your ideal member and stay focused on them. And here at Mighty Networks, we have got some great guides and tools to help you think about what your ideal member's transition can be. Where do you want to focus? But a couple of really good places to start are, how do you describe yourself? It's easier to find people who are like you than people who are not like you. Now, the beautiful thing is that you can find people or start with people who are walking the same path that you have walked, and you can always then expand from there. But certainly, if you are starting from scratch with a paid membership or a course or a digital business in really any flavor, you want to start with people whose transition you get. So if the first one is, how do you describe yourself? What is your story? And how do you tease out those moments to focus in on people who are like you, who have gone through similar transitions to the ones that you have gone through yourself? The second question is, who are the people that bring you the most energy? If you are bringing together people who are a pain in the ass, that is going to be exhausting and you're not going to want to continue to do it. You want to bring together people whose transitions feel like something energizing to you, that you can have an impact. You can help them in ways that are going to make a difference. So that is the second question you want to ask yourself. Who brings you energy? Who brings you joy? Who brings you a sense of purpose? The third question then is, of the people that you want to bring together, what are the most important or motivating transitions that they are in? And my favorite part of why an ideal member who is motivated, who is in a transition, because that's a shortcut for motivation, when they start to get results and they start to meet super cool people that become their friends, not just content that they're consuming, but actual friends with actual relationships that they can meet up with in person, or they can go on a trip together, or they can attend an event together, or they can participate in a challenge together. All of these things lead to a experience that they're going to want to talk about. And the thing we know is word of mouth has always been, continues to be, and will continue to be the most effective form of marketing or attracting new people into your aspiring digital business, or ideally a membership, a course, a challenge, or an event that you can possibly have. So you do not have to do all the marketing, especially the expensive marketing of paid ad funnels and all the complexity that comes from this really simple thing that you hear a lot from the gurus out there of, like, oh, just set up a paid ad funnel. It's no big deal. You just want to make sure that your ad prices and all the emails that you have to write and all the landing pages that you have to build and test and optimize and build and test and optimize, all of that costs less than the revenue that you're generating. Well, I have got a better answer. Pick your ideal member correctly with the people who are the most motivated and that you're the most motivated to bring together. And maybe you need those things in the future, maybe, but you can start with your ideal member and find your ideal member through your people or your network, asking for recommendations because you have such clarity that your network, your people know someone in their network or amongst their people who might be phenomenal ideal members for your new membership or course or challenge or event. So you've got your people. And as you reach out to them with this very clear profile of your ideal member, and then they say either, hey, this sounds great for me, or hey, that sounds great for my friend Gina. She is hungry for this kind of community. She's going through this transition right now. That may be because she's getting married for the first time. She's a first-time manager. She is a first-time entrepreneur. She is an entrepreneur that just passed 7 figures and is going to 8. Whatever it might be, as you bring those first 10 members in, and that is really all you need to get started. But as you bring your community in, they're going to have their people. And as they start to get results and transformation, because you have been very, very disciplined about that formula, human being plus transition equals ideal member, the people who are in your phone are the place to start. Now, can you have an audience? Does this still work if you have an audience? Turns out it works even better if you have an audience. You do not need to start there, but if you have one already, this is unbelievable. A paid membership is turning into 6, 7, $8 million businesses with 99% margins when you choose to launch one on Mighty. So, do you need to have an audience to launch a paid membership or a course that has people meeting and building relationships with each other, a course that creates people magic? The resounding answer is no, you do not. You do not need an audience to launch a successful, high ticket paid membership. You do not need to already have 100 members before you start charging. You do not need to have 100 hours of content or even 40 hours of content or even 4 hours of content before you launch a paid membership or a paid course with this approach. You are bringing together people who want to meet each other. And that is why you can start with just 5 people or 10 people, because those numbers are going to get a lot bigger a lot faster. But if you just create an amazing experience for those 10 people and you help them meet each other, this is what it means to create people magic. They will pay you. And they will pay you for not your content, but for the relationships you are unlocking on their behalf. And by unlocking those relationships on their behalf, you are helping them build relationships that create value, that might lead to their next job, that might lead to that breakthrough idea in their business, might lead to their joy in taking on a new hobby or interest that they were kind of intimidated about at the beginning, whether that is 100 days of songwriting or whether that is quilting and crafts, whether it's your wellness program for brand new parents. In each and every one of these examples, your ideal member embracing their transition and meeting people on the same path is more important than how many people you have on an email list, because you can start with your people. Now, if you have an audience, everything I just said is not only still true, but everything gets so much easier. So much easier. If you have been grinding for a long time and have your courses on one platform, your community on another platform, your coaching business on a third, if you are organizing events on a fourth platform, there is a better path. There is a more profitable path. There is a path that allows you to take full advantage of just a massive step up in platforms that create people magic, that create this ability for you to offer your ideal member a better experience that is worth millions of dollars to you, just structuring it and designing it differently. And that is the promise of people magic. And again, if you take nothing else away from this episode, it's this: focus on people who you like, who bring you energy, who you think you can help, and who have a very clear transition that they are navigating. So until our next episode, I'm Gina Bianchini. This is People Magic, and I am here to help you build a $1 million digital business in the most rewarding way humanly possible. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening to People Magic. Want more of a deep dive on today's topic? Well, check out People Magic Profit, my 9-part free masterclass on how to launch your own wildly profitable paid membership and community. Do you have your own burning questions you'd like me to discuss on this podcast? Well, I want to hear them. So leave your questions in the review section and keep tuning in.